Hello viewers, and welcome to one more episode of the Enoch Generation, a generation that walks with the Lord. As we've been listening to Sarvana Kumar, in the previous episode, we will continue his journey with the Lord. So yes, Sarvana, we were listening to you. You told us how you began your journey, how you went in search of the truth, you found the truth, you had a lot of opposition, but how you decided to continue with the truth. Now, let's take off your journey from that point. Then what happened to you after you decided you will stick to the truth? You had the anointing of the Lord and you really felt something was different and people could see something different in you.
Yeah.
So how did you take off from there?
What we would call an honeymoon period. The time that you got saved, that initial 6 months.
So it was like meeting your first love.
Yeah, exactly. And
so have you met your first love?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
In the real life,
meet the Lord. No, because you're a bachelor, I just had a doubt. Yes, you can continue.
So one day what happened, it was study holidays for us because I was doing my 12th grade. I did not have any idea about prophetic anything, but I had just anointed by the Lord, and that too I came to know that I am anointed through my friend, family and his mom, and I started speaking in tongues. One day I had an urge that I should go to school. I was like, this is new to me, and and of course it was a study holiday for us, and there was no need for me to go to school that time. So I decided I'll go to school, and I went to school. And I saw my friend there, and he told he just lost his practical notebook, and that was 12th grade practical notebook. He told I kept it here only for review from teachers, but somehow it was.
So this was before you went into engineering college?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Before going into engineering college, so it was lost, and like a child, I told him, because I did not know what to do. So I told him, okay, we both will ask Jesus. He will give you a record notebook back. So I hold.
So you became like a pastor out there.
I did not know. So I held his hand and I said a word of prayer. I did not know what to pray. I just said, Jesus, my friend's notebook is lost. Please help him find it. And I was sitting there, was chatting with my other friends. And exactly after an hour back, he came running towards me with his having his notebook in his hand. Sarvana, I got your notebook. I got my notebook. He said, say thanks to Jesus. I said,
oh wow.
say Jesus that I said thanks to him. I got my practical note back. I was so happy because Jesus heard my prayer.
Wow. So for you it was like a step forward where you were sure that there was a God who was willing to listen to what you say.
Of course. So these were all little invitation and assurance I got. I prayed and God listened my prayer, and after I moved to engineering college, it was altogether a different journey, and from there I moved to Chennai, and there again my friend Joshua James and we were all staying together in a home because we were both working in an IT company. And
so, but how was your journey during your college times?
During the college time, what happened is
were you still in the journey with the Lord?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I was passionately in love with Jesus.
Wow.
The day my friend told watching television is wrong, at that time watching television is wrong, I stopped watching television. And these are the signs that my family grabbed. They sensed some sort of difference because earlier I used to watch a lot of programs. Now
So guy
suddenly I
who's
stopped.
always stuck with the television suddenly says he doesn't want to see there's something wrong with him then. Yeah.
Something wrong with him. They sense something is
Something
wrong,
different.
something different, and that's how they came to know. And I told them that I started following Jesus. So I passionately in love with Jesus, and they told me you should pray daily. And I started praying daily. Everything they told, I took it so personally and as a commandment, and I started doing it because I was in so love with God.
So I think main thing is you were seeing results in the little things that they asked you to do, that you
Yeah.
began to continue the journey.
Yeah, of course, as I told, my family was not financially well to provide for my engineering. So what happened? I applied for a position, technical position with my 12th grade as an eligibility.
Okay.
This was for Visakhapatnam shipyard something.
Okay.
And we had no plans to continue my study, and of course it was not possible. So I applied for this, but the application got returned to me telling that there was no such company, and they returned that 400 rupees DD. And what happened, I cancelled the DD and got the 400 back, and I told my mom, I do not know what to do with this 400. They told, okay, use it for something. So I thought I would use it for applying engineering entrance, because I just want to, I did not have any plan to go to engineering, but I just want to kill my time. So my want to go out with my friends. So I told I'll also come with you and apply this thing. And I applied for the entrance exam, and I finished my entrance exam. And one day my dad's brother called me and told, I want to sponsor your studies.
Oh, that's nice.
So at the time, my family advised me that I should daily pray, and whenever I pray, I would say, Lord, whatever you wish, you do it. And we just used to pray, spend time in prayer. And suddenly, my dad's brother called me and told, I want to sponsor your studies. And it was so surprising for everyone in my family and me. Fortunately, I took that entrance exam before. I mean, it was like from here, it was like divinely planned.
Okay.
Because with that 400, I could have done anything else.
Nothing.
But I just applied for the entrance exam, and
Without even realizing that there
Yeah.
would be somebody to sponsor you.
yeah, of course. And my Peripa came, my dad's brother came and told I want to sponsor my study, and that in itself is a testimony. And he completely sponsored my entire study for 4 years. And I strongly feel that was a hand of God who brought him in my life. I mean, to come forward and to do this for me. And
Because
then, of course,
generally, I mean, people would think twice before they do this. Maybe just, once of paying your fees for
Yeah.
1 year or something is fine, but not for 4 full years.
yeah.
I mean, it's really divinely orchestrated.
Yeah, he took care of my studies and everything. He took care of my expenses there. He took
Okay.
care of my expenses for that 4 years completely. That was a testimony.
Okay. And when you were there in the hostel, were you attending some church service, or what was your relationship at that point? You said you were passionately in love with the Lord. You said you were praying, but did you attend church? Were you reading the Bible? Did you have anybody there to lead you to the Lord, or bring you closer, or how was it actually there?
The college days, I would say, it was a transition period for me.
Okay.
Ideally, it should have been, I should have found a church or a mentor, because I am a guy coming from a Hindu background and just got saved, and I was moved out of town for my studies. So I did not have anyone in my college to speak this out. And of course, you would have bunch of teenagers. They don't understand anything about this hard conversion or you accepting Jesus, following Jesus. They would not understand anything. And you would see a lot of people from different backgrounds. So I did not have anyone to share this with anyone. But I used to stick a Bible verse, and they would come and ask me, you are Saravana Kumar and you have this verse in your
So there's no correlation between your name and what you're doing.
in suitcases and there. And what happened actually is, as I told, I started taking every word that is being preached from the stage so seriously. So they told, you have to please God. That if you pray twice, then you would please God. I mean, if I sit there, I would tell, that was not God at all. I have experienced a whole different God now. At the time, they told, so
but I think everything begins, that passion begins with obedience. Obedience goes with the passion.
Yeah.
So when it comes into your heart that, you are really in love with the Lord and He's become your first love, your everything, you just want to do something to please Him, something to keep Him happy. So somebody comes and tells you, praying twice keeps Him happy, you will definitely do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I religiously did it. I used to pray twice. Even if I miss to pray one time, I would feel kind of disturbed, condemned, I didn't pray today.
So He will be displeased with me.
Yeah, He will be displeased with me, something like that. The point I wanted to make is, because I passionately, I loved Him. I wanted to experience Him. It was not just to know Him and to go away, or for the sake of believing something. I did not do that. I believed Him and I want to passionately experience Him. So I took it everything and I did it with a religious thing. So what happened? I went to my college, and there I did not have any opportunity to spend time in prayer. But of course, I used to read Bible.
When did you start reading the Bible? Who gave you a Bible to read?
That in itself, that's the story that I should actually share.
Because as you were talking about prayer. So I was just wondering, did you ever read the Bible? Maybe you spoke about verses stuck here and there, but I had this running in my mind, this question. Yeah.
So my friend Joshua James Robert, he has a brother, his name is John Caleb. And one day I went to him and I asked him, John, I wanted to read Bible. So suggest me what should I do and from where should I start. He is a guy, at the time we were so young. He told, you read Gospel of John, it is very easy. Man, if I sit now and share it with people, John is the one gospel that you should not, it's very tough. But he said, this is very easy chapter.
At least Matthew, Mark has stories. John is very difficult.
Very difficult. He told, John is a very easy book. You start from here. And
maybe he found it easy.
He told me, you can start reading. God would speak to you. You would see, you may feel stuck at some verse or some verse pop up and maybe God talks to you. So this was the advice given by him.
So you had the passion that you wanted to read the Bible.
Yeah.
So nobody asked you to go read the Bible.
No.
Nothing like that. It was your own passion.
Yeah. Since I started following Jesus, they were all taking communion. Then I had a question. Why these guys they sent me half of the church out and they alone taking something.
So you thought they were doing something which you're not supposed to.
Why are they doing it? And I went and asked them, why don't you give that to me? And they told, you have to take baptism and only then you can take communion. And I told them, then I'm ready to take baptism because I have decided I want to pursue this. And that's how even my Bible reading started. And I would thank my friend and friend's family. They gave me that space to gradually move up. They didn't force me anything. And when I went to them and asked my friend, I wanted to read Bible, he told, read John. What happened? I did not know anything about John 3:16 at all. It was a famous verse. Every Christian would have it by-hearted from childhood. I did not know anything. I was casually reading that. And I did not know. I was reading in the Tamil Bible. அவரை விசுவாசிக்கிறவர்கள் கெட்டு போகாமல் நித்திய ஜீவனை அடையும்படிக்கு இவ்வளவாய் அவரை உலகுக்கு தந்து அன்பு கூர்ந்தார். He who believes in he gave his only begotten son, in whomever he believes, they shall not perish but have everlasting life. I am like stuck there. they shall not perish but have everlasting life. I stuck there. That verse is so fresh in my heart and in my soul even now, because that was the first time I practically saw God there. So those who believed in Him shall not perish. Okay, they shall not perish and have everlasting life. Okay, I was like, that verse is so fresh, powerful, and only after these, these many years of journey, I knew, okay, John 3:16 is something very famous, but at the time it was God talking to me, and that was one of my favorite verse in the Bible.
So that is literally the word became flesh. So
Exactly.
it was, the word has so much of life in it and power in it that when you read it, the word literally bounced up and spoke to you. It meant
Exactly.
life to you.
And
So where did you get your first Bible from?
my
Your friend gave it to you.
gave it to me.
But how did you actually decide that you needed to read the Bible? You saw somebody reading it that you wanted to?
Yeah, I used to watch his dad and mom reading it.
Okay.
And they used to have a prayer session every Friday, fasting prayer session, and they would come together and read. And I just asked them, I also wanted to read this.
So it was like you were observing
Yeah.
them and you wanted to do what they were doing.
Yeah.
But when you were observing them and wanted to do what they were doing, did you see there was something different in them that you wanted to actually adopt it? In their life?
No, not. I didn't find the difference, since I had a genuine interest
Okay.
to search and know the Lord.
Okay.
They are in a journey knowing God, and they have a practice in
Okay.
their life.
Okay.
Be it prayer or Bible reading or taking communion, they have a practice. And I was thinking, so these are all part of knowing God.
Okay.
Then why shouldn't I
Give it a try
it a
too.
try? Yeah.
Okay. So it was totally like right from the day you were searching for the truth.
Yeah.
You always have been giving it a try.
Yeah.
So when you found somebody telling you about Jesus, you thought, okay, fine, let me give it a try. Then when it came to prayer, you said, let me give it a try. Then you saw things happening and
Yeah.
moving. You then went to the next stage, okay, let me read the Bible, give it a try. And as you were testifying now, you saw things happening there also. So viewers, you've been listening to Sarvana Kumar speaking about his journey, and he told us, see, how he's always been giving it a try. So whenever he gave it a try and he saw that things were working out, he went one more step ahead. So to try something new. So I think we all have this urge inside of us that we like to try something new, and when it works out, we are so happy about the whole thing and we want to give it one more try, one more push, and this is how we move in our journey. So it's wonderful to know that he's been moving in his journey with the Lord, like an Enoch, literally thirsting for Him. So today you and I would have this push in our life and say, yes, Jesus, I'll give you a try, I'll give this a try. Definitely you and I will progress in our journey. So we would meet in the next episode where he would be continuing to share his journey to this day. God bless you.
உலகத்தில் ஒன்றும் இல்லாதவனாய் தள்ளப்பட்டு மனுஷனால் ஒதுக்கப்பட்டவனாய் திசை கேட்டும் பரதேசியாய் அலைந்த என்னை தூக்கி நிலை நிறுத்தியவர் நீர்தானே ஐயா. என்னை தூக்கி நிலை நிறுத்தியவர் நீர்தானே ஐயா. இயேசுவே, என்னை தேடி வந்தவரே, இயேசுவே, என் வாழ்க்கையை அலங்கரித்தீரே. உம் பிள்ளையாய் என்னை மாற்றினீரே. உலகெல்லாம் அறியும்படி செய்தவரே, முகவரியே இல்லாத என் ஸ்தலத்தை ஒரு பெதஸ்தாவாய் இன்று மாற்றினீரே, ஒரு பெதஸ்தாவாய் இன்று மாற்றினீரே. இயேசுவே, என்னை தேடி வந்தவரே, இயேசுவே, என் வாழ்க்கையை அலங்கரித்தீரே, உன் பிள்ளையா என்னை மாற்றினீரே. வெறுமையாய் கிடந்த என் பாத்திரத்தை நாள்தோறும் நிரம்பி வழி செய்தவரே, கட்டப்பட்டு இருந்த என் நாவையும் உன் புகழை பாட கட்டவிழ்த்தீரே, உன் புகழை பாட கட்டவிழ்த்தீரே. இயேசுவே, என்னை தேடி வந்தவரே, இயேசுவே, என் வாழ்க்கையை அலங்கரித்தீரே, உம் பிள்ளையா என்னை மாற்றினீரே.